my God, check this out. Wow, amazing. Reminds me so much of when I was 9 and I went to my really good friend's birthday party, and we were all white, but she made us learn, memorize, and dance to a hip hop song by Snoop. We were amazing back then, and you know, Gypsy, she's just carrying the torch for all of us.
This, boom, bam, every time, or Your hands are always, like this. Start out just hitting it,
Yes, ma'am. Gypsy Rose is amazing because she can go straight from this to this. All of you have been wondering where I've been. Well, my mother-in-law was here for the past week and a half, and in that time, she literally fixed my entire life, you guys. She organized everything, helped me clean up, unpack, fix my garden, and my kids had a fabulous time. So my focus was on her and not so much on Gypsy. But now I'm back, and in 1 week, so much has happened. Yes, for sure. Gypsy is 110% back with Ken Urker, but we pretty much all had that on our bingo card for this year, right? I'll tell you what I didn't have on my bingo card, and maybe I'm being naive, but I didn't think that Gypsy was going to write another terrible book. Okay, so as a side note, here's my bingo card. Like, I'm still working on it. I know like there's so many that I can X off already, but I haven't like filled in all the blanks. If you guys have ideas, like let me know. What are things that I can put in these spots to mark off for the rest of the year? Obviously, she's already gotten a nose job, gotten jiggy with Ken. She's definitely shit on Nick way too many times. Tattoo for sure. Hold a polar bear. Okay, now I assume this was something she would win like in a contest at a zoo, and it hasn't happened yet that I know of. Okay, it's possible she did it and just hasn't put it on social media yet. So still got to figure that out. Still got to figure that one out. Fight with Christy. I'm willing to bet this is happening behind the scenes. Okay, here's one that I, am like back and forth about, but I definitely think it's like a must do when you first get out of prison, like within the first year, within the first 12 months. Try a clay pot restaurant. Clay pots were so popular in Malaysia. It was amazing. But I don't know how often you'll find them like down in New Orleans. We'll have to see about that. Definitely swamp related activities I can mark off because I just saw Gypsy doing a swamp tour on her Instagram. Get a dog and abandon a dog. Check. That's all done. All right. So you get your bingo card ready and let me know what I should add onto mine. But getting back to what's going on with Gypsy. Okay. So most of you know, and some of you are very angry with me about it, that I am one of those people who wanted to give Gypsy Rose a chance, and not just one chance, but a lot of chances, because I do believe, and I know a lot of you disagree with me, that Gypsy Rose was the victim of horrific child abuse. Feel both she and Nick Godejohn deserve a second chance at life. And I understand fully that she's going to make mistakes. She's not going to be perfect, and that's not what I'm expecting from her. But I will say this. It's become completely clear to me that Gypsy is playing the game, the social media fame game. And directly after she came out of prison, she put out a memoir, a new book. It was only available through Amazon. You couldn't get it in print. You had to read it on Kindle. I immediately purchased it because once again, I wanted to be a part of giving her a chance. I read the book and I reviewed it on my channel, and I will say this, it was pretty disappointing, but whatever, it's her thing. Maybe it's like a money grab or whatever. I felt like I gave a little bit. This is something to get her on her feet, to give her a chance to have a life, to maybe have a place to live, to have some independence and money of her own. But it is not more than 5 months later, and she's already getting ready to fly to Hollywood to flaunt and advertise her upcoming reality show, as well as this new book entitled My Time to Stand. I'll tell you something right now. I would have bought it if the book was entitled My Time to Twerk. I mean, why not be honest with yourself, Gypsy? That's what this book is really going to be like, that's what your life is like right now. And there's no shame in that game. Like, let's put it out there. But with a title like My Time to Stand, I'm really concerned that it's going to be more BS about how you want to become a victim's advocate. And I'm just not really up for that. I can't live a lie, Gypsy. I just really can't live a lie with you. Okay, so of course, Gypsy did an interview with People about the book, and they wrote, after a decade of incarceration for having her boyfriend murder her mother, she's ready to tell her story about abuse and survival. Didn't she do that in January, like with the first book I read? Because if not, like, give me my money back. I mean, that's what I paid for. Her memoir, My Time to Stand, written by Melissa Moore, is coming from Ben Bella Books in January 2025. Okay, so it's going to be out a year after she wrote the first one, and these are the same people, the ghostwriter that wrote her first book, and the same publication company. And I told you that Ryan Anderson had a hand in all of that. I'm in love with the title of my book. You should, that's because you didn't hear what I had to say. My Time to Twerk, like, that would have sold off the shelves. I mean, your audience is a TikTok audience. Like, Rachel Garlick and everyone in prison, those are the people who, like, look up to you and love you the most. You should have entitled it My Time to Twerk. She writes, I'm in love with the title of my book, not only because it addresses the question I get most, but because in our pain and struggle, we can find what it is that we want to stand for. That inside our stories, if we dare to sit in the stillness of them, our purpose. This is a bunch of bullshit. All right. So, I mean, the article goes on to just talk about a bunch of back and forth about how many people suffer from Munchausen by proxy and how much, like, Gypsy wants to make a difference in the world. It talks about the act and how successful that was. And basically, Gypsy lets us know that the title has a special meaning. She said, the first time I stood up on my own 2 feet was my first failed attempt to leave my mother. I had the legs of a chick struggling to find a way out of the cracks. Who hasn't felt unsturdy like that in their own life? I know you all can relate to me. Come on, buy my book. I added that part in. But because in our pain and struggle, we can find what it is that we want to stand for. The second time I stood up, I walked down a path I'll regret forever. Again, too many people feel this way about their choices. The third time I stood up, oh my God, too many times, I did so as an incarcerated woman. It literally says that girl/woman who had so much to learn about independent self-forgiveness and reliance only because I did the work, did my time to stand, finally come. Now I can stand with other victims as they take steps forward, doing whatever work is necessary to stand for themselves. But you could also teach a twerking class. Don't you see? Like, do you guys would get what I'm saying? If the title would have been My Time to Twerk, like, I could just see so much merchandise coming out of that. And for sure, like, teaching classes, putting out like aerobics type videos where you're twerking and we all pay like through Peloton to watch them. It's like a twerk / like stationary bike workout, and it's led by Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Like, she is missing out on one of the best ideas I'm sure any of you have ever heard of. All right, so I'll skip the rest of it. Basically, this book will be out in January 2025, but it's already ready for pre-order wherever books are sold. Yes, Gypsy has yet another book coming out to teach us all about how boring your life can be when you're trying to appeal to such a wide audience that you have to pretend like you have no personality whatsoever. It'll basically be a repeat of the last book, and I can't wait to read it. There's so much more to talk about when it comes to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I hope you guys will join me again as we head down another rabbit hole.
Excuse me, it's been about 5 minutes since I've last gotten attention. I would like some more.
And I gave her to Ryan. Like, I didn't want to uproot her from everything that she knows, so she loved Ryan more, so I let him keep the puppy.
There you go.
There you go. That's where the puppy is. I swear, if that is probably one of the most questions that I had, where they were more worried about that puppy than they were anything.
Yeah, she's perfectly fine with Ryan.
All right. Well,
something. So yesterday, I got a call from my PO. And so apparently someone had reported to my PO that Ken is a felon. And everybody knows
Oh my
that
God.
parole, you can't hang out with other convicted felons. So
I've already told them that he's not. I've already.
is wrong. He doesn't have a criminal record, never been in prison.
Nope.
Nope.
He's not a felon.
No felons.
So I'm not
I
committing.
clarified that yesterday. I actually clarified that for you. I told them that you did not have a felony record.